Okay,
The red light
cool.
just came on.
And then just be sure to try to look at. You can look at me, but like looking into the actual lens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you mind telling us your name
My name is Vivian Choate.
and how old are you?
66. I'll be 67 in June.
Ooh, okay. When did you first come to San Diego?
In the early 90s.
And how old were you then?
In my 30s.
Ooh, okay.
Early 40s. One or two. Late 30s, early 40s, I'm not sure.
What were your first impressions of San Diego?
Clean, very white. I didn't get downtown until a couple of years after I came to the South. And the only place I really went was OB because it reminded me of home.
Were there any things that you didn't like about San Diego?
Yeah, it's too big. The bus system here is lousy. I had to preface myself here. Is lousy. It's terrible, and they keep raising the prices and cutting back on services, which to me makes no sense at all.
How easy was it to navigate San Diego back then?
Well, fairly easy because I went to very limited places. I worked in La Mesa, so I caught the trolley out to La Mesa and back, and that was pretty much where I went, except OB.
And then you kind of touched on this a little earlier, but how easy is it to navigate San Diego now for you?
Excuse me. Well, I've gotten to know the bus lines, so I can. I usually give myself an hour to be able to get anywhere. Here, I give myself 2 hours.
What places do you go to now that you did not go to when you were younger?
I can't think of any places that I didn't go to when I was younger.
How about can you think of anything or any places that have become like more important to you?
Well, the senior center here has become very important to me. Not only am I a volunteering senior and a senior, but I'm also an employee, so it's become very important.
And then, how would you improve San Diego?
First of all, instead of just covering over the nasty, lousy streets they have, I would tear them all out and redo them because all they do is exacerbate the problem. I'd make wider sidewalks. I would care more about the people than the developers, which obviously they're doing since there's a law in San Diego that says that you have to prove that there's enough water for the amount of people who will be living in the buildings that you build. Unfortunately, the politicians are so deeply into the pockets of the developers that they let them just go ahead and do whatever they want.
Do any of y'all have any questions to add on?
Yeah, so you mentioned that it's different from where you're from. So where are you from originally?
I'm from San Francisco. Originally, I'm from Columbus, Ohio, but I moved to San Francisco at the age of 12. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what do you like about San Francisco that you don't see in San Diego?
A lot of it is politics. San Francisco is a sanctuary city for immigrants, and also the guy who is now the treasurer for the state was the mayor of San Francisco, and he insured everybody in that city with medical. So we have in San Francisco paid medical for everybody, which we should have in this country together. There's not a whole lot you can do, as far as geographically. San Francisco is a city county all combined, and so we only have one ruling body, which is the mayor, and then our city council, which is called the Board of Supervisors. And it seems to me that between the Board of Supervisors and the city council down here, there's not much conversation, so one is doing with the left hand tied behind their back, kind of thing.
And just to kind of go back to one of the questions we asked, Is there any place in San Diego that you would like to visit, but you find maybe your mobility or maybe the transportation is making it quite difficult for you to travel to it?
No, I have no problem as far as riding the buses and stuff. I just have to plan, what I'm going to do and where I'm going. But no, I don't see any problem except going places where the buses don't run, and that's a lot of places here in San Diego that the buses don't cover, so, yeah.
Is there any place else aside from the senior center here that you find really important for you as a senior, like whether it's service-wise or just like being able to get to it and it just kind of like maybe a park or I don't know.
I don't do a lot of out-of-the-house stuff. I'm here most of the time, so I volunteer when I'm not working on the clock. So, I'm basically here. I gotta say, I love the people that I work with and the people I work for, and I love this place. Gary and Mary West are phenomenal people, and Serving Seniors is a wonderful company to work for.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Mhm.
That was
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, that was
Thank
so
you.
good.
So just
There you go.
click it.
Yeah.